The House and Senate Judiciary Committees recently heard testimony on two gun rights initiatives, 591 and 594. What would these initiatives do, and what are your views on them?
Well, Initiative 591 would state that the state cannot pass a law that prevents background checks. And the second one, 594, says, well, we need to have universal background checks. And my view on this is that it's not going to do any good if we create a law that creates more background checks on people. And the reason for that is that the biggest argument is that licensed dealers are required to check the background of every person who steps up and purchases a gun, and yet at gun shows they don't have to do that. Then why aren't they the same? Well, the problem is that lawful gun owners show up at trade shows or at gun shows. And there's only 1% of the statistics show that guns purchased by criminals are used in criminal activity at gun shows. So even though we feel there should be something done about the mass shootings and so forth, unfortunately, if this Initiative 594 were to pass, it would virtually do no good because criminals would have a chance to get guns anyway.
This issue got a lot of attention when former Congresswoman Gabby Giffords and her husband Mark Kelly came to testify. Did that influence anyone's vote?
I really don't think so, at least of the people who really thought this subject through. I felt they did a good job of testifying. They certainly made their point, but again, as I've stated earlier, in the end we have to analyze this very carefully and not come up with a knee-jerk reaction and make it more difficult for law-abiding citizens and yet not stop the criminal activity. That is the problem.
These are initiatives to the legislature, so will the legislature pass these bills, or what are the options?
That's pretty interesting. There's several choices. The legislature can pass these two bills, or one of them, or they can make a change in each of them, which means that all four, the two original initiatives and the two amendments or changes, would appear on the November ballot. Or the third option would be to do nothing, and then these two initiatives would automatically go to the ballot. I think the latter is going to happen.